To read an opening statement, this is to advise the general public that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled Senator Byron M. Bear, Open Public Meeting Act, New Jersey Casino Control Commission on December 6, 2023, filed with the Secretary of State at the State House in Trenton an annual meeting schedule. On December 6, 2023, copies were mailed to subscribers. The use of cell phones in the public meeting room while the commission is in session is prohibited. Any member of the public who wishes to address the commission will be given the opportunity to do so before the commission adjourns for the day. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Welcome everyone who is joining us in person and remotely today. Meeting participants who wish to do so can continue to address the Commission through remote technology. We are also permitting in-person participation, and the public meeting room is therefore open. We will, however, to continue to stream our public meetings. The public is able to listen through access provided on the Commission's website, as well as through our YouTube channel. We will accept comments via email. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.nj.gov. I will repeat that. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.nj.gov, beginning now and any time throughout the meeting, ending at the time of adjournment. This meeting is being transcribed as well as recorded, and minutes will be available on our website in due course. To meeting participant callers, I ask that you follow the instructions provided with the web link or audio call-in code, and place your phones on mute until your matter is called. Also, when your matter is called, please turn on the camera and identify yourself before speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Please answer when I call your name for the roll, please. Commissioner Molyneux,
Present.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Present.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Present.
Thank you. Matters discussed in closed session this morning included employee license matters, approval of the July 3, 2024 closed session minutes, status update in the matter of Wayne Chen versus Division of Gaming Enforcement and Casino Control Commission, and the approval of the hiring of Nathan P. Murray as IT Network Specialist, MIS Applications Analyst 2-Ban in the Information Technology Unit, Division of Regulatory Affairs.
Are there any questions for council or corrections?
No.
No, we don't. Not yet. The first item for your consideration is the ratification of the public portion of July 3, 2024 meeting minutes.
Are there any questions for council or corrections?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to ratify the minutes of the July 3rd, 2024 meeting.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2. First, I would note, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that 2J Vincenzo Manello has been adjourned to the next meeting. The additional matters to be considered are Alexandra Alberto, Enrico L. Baez Santiago, John G. Bogley, Samia M. Brown Powell, Kayla A. Samadore, Valerie Figueroa Hernandez, Patrick W. Hansen, Patrick J. Joyce, Eveline M. Lynn, also known as May Lynn, Stacy A. Sorokas, and Thomas A. Vansiters. With respect to the matters of Kayla Samadore and Thomas Vesitiers, they will be called separately. The remaining 7 have been reviewed by the division as well as commission staff with a recommendation that they be approved for their initial casino employee licenses.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 7 initial casino key employee licenses.
Are there any questions regarding these matters?
I second the motion.
Okay. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you. With respect to item 2D, Kayla A. Samadore, and 2J, Thomas A. Vincenters, a objection has been raised by the division with respect to each. Staff recommends that those 2 matters be remanded to the contested case process.
Are there any questions regarding these matters?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to remand for a hearing 2 initial casino key employee license applications.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you. Now, bear with me on item number 3. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, we will not read each of the names on the agenda because I don't have enough water to support that. I would note that we have 56 that are reflected on Exhibit List 1, which you have been provided, which do not include the names of Denise Kentish, which has been adjourned to the next meeting. The additional matters of Jamie M. Harris, Michelle T. McCants, Jillian M. Reed, Timothy A. Ibling, Donald W. Kneisel II, and Nicholas F. Moles will occur via separate vote. The remaining 56 resubmitted applications for casino key employee licenses have been reviewed by the division. Staff has also reviewed, and it is our recommendation that those 56 be granted.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 56 resubmitted casino key employee licenses.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you. With respect to Jamie M. Harris, her resubmitted key includes a multi-casino endorsement for Caesars and Harris. Michelle T. McCants, her resubmitted also includes, also known as Michelle T. Sanders, her resubmission also includes a multi-casino endorsement for Caesars, Harris, and Tropicana. And lastly, Jillian M. Reed, also known as Jillian M. Krug, has a multi-casino endorsement for Caesars, Harris, and Tropicana. All 3 have been reviewed by the division, who raised no objection, as well as commission staff, with the recommendation that each of the 3 resubmitted casino key employee licenses with multi-casino endorsements be granted.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 3 resubmitted casino key employee licenses with multi-casino endorsements pursuant to NJSA 5:12-91.1.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you. 3S is Timothy A. Ebling, Vice President of Finance for DGMB Casino LLC and Resorts Digital Gaming LLC. Also, with respect to Mr. Ebling's resubmitted casino key employee license and for continued qualification with a multi-casino endorsement, division has reviewed and raised no objection, and commission staff recommends that his resubmitted key with qualification and multi-casino endorsement be granted.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant resubmitted key license with a multi-casino endorsement pursuant to NJSA 5:12-91.1 and qualification.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you. 3HH, Donald W. Kneisel II as Vice President, IT Infrastructure and Operations for Boardwalk 1000 LLC and HR Atlantic City LLC. Again, this involves a resubmitted Casino Key employee license with multi-casino endorsement and qualification, reviewed by the division, who raises no objection, and by commission staff, with the recommendation that the request be granted.
Are there any questions regarding this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant resubmitted key license with a multi-casino endorsement pursuant to NJSA 5:12-91.1 and qualification.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
And 300, Nicholas F. Moles, Vice President, Legal and General Counsel for DGMB Casino LLC and Resorts Digital Gaming LLC. Again, a resubmitted Casino Key employee license with a multi-casino endorsement and qualification. Likewise reviewed by the division without objection and commission staff, with the recommendation that the request be granted.
Are there any questions regarding this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a second? Or is there a motion, I'm sorry?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant resubmitted key license with a multi-casino endorsement pursuant to NJSA 5:12-91.1 and qualification.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 4 are approvals through delegation of authority between June 24, 2024, and July 31, 2024, pursuant to Resolution Number 22-0112-11B. Mr. Eeler will review those matters with you. However, no action is required by you at this time.
Good morning, Chairman Pelosi, Vice Chair Cooper, and Commissioner Molyneux. For the record, I am Patrick Eeler, Manager of the Commission's Licensing and Financial Evaluation Unit. Between June 24th and July 31st, 2024, the staff of the Commission's Regulatory Affairs Division granted the following approvals via its delegated authority. Multi-casino endorsements on existing Casino Key employee licenses were granted to the following individuals for their respective positions at Caesars, Harrah's, and/or Tropicana. Noel Galindo, also known as Noel Galindo Medel, Jamie M. Harris, Elizabeth D. Matos, also known as Elizabeth Negron and Elizabeth Negron Torres, Craven Turner III, and Danelle M. Washington, also known as Danelle M. Bordenaro and Danelle M. Bordenoran. Temporary Casino Key employee licenses were granted to Jacob W. Crowell, Ashak L. Lyman, Shaniqua A. Moore, Tanisha J. Moorman, Jaden T. Moselle, Norbert Noah, Cassandra R. Paul, Jacqueline A. Robinson, also known as Jackie Robinson, Jacqueline Rivera, and Jacqueline Freeman. Justin E. Rubisky, Shireen A. Sadiq, Daniel G. Tibrine, also known as Danny Tibrine, Alana J. Wiggins, and David Zimmer. This memorializes the approvals that were granted by the Commission's Division of Regulatory Affairs via its delegated authority during this period, and no further Commission action is required. Thank you.
Agenda item number 5 are requests for inactivation of Casino Key employee licenses. Again, Manager Patrick Eeler will address that matter with you.
In lieu of filing a Casino Key employee license review application, the following individuals have requested to be placed on the Casino Key employee license approved inactive list. Peter G. Dalzell, Michael J. Giraldi Jr., Stephen E. Godleski, Richard P. Henderson, Michael Kroll, Melody S. Moore, also known as Melody S. Draper and Melody S. Flynn, Joseph J. Pastorino, Kenneth C. Petishnak Jr., and Scott F. Raring. Mr. Raring's middle initial is F rather than R as noted in today's agenda. If the requests are granted, each individual may remain on the approved and active list for a period of up to 5 years. Commission staff has reviewed these requests and recommends that you grant the requested relief.
Are there any questions on any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the requested relief and order that the 9 casino key employee licenses be inactivated.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is consideration of the lapsing of casino key employee licenses. Manager Patrick Eeler will review those with you.
For your consideration is the lapsing of the casino key employee licenses of Andrea Alvarado, Henry E. Bailey, Robert E. Beckley Jr., Jamie L. Frazier, Luther W. Gulker, Luis Morales, and Justin M. Sandilands. In each case, the casino key employee license review application filing deadline has passed, and these individuals have not filed a casino key employee license review application, nor requested to be placed on the casino key employee license approved inactive list. Based on our review, staff recommends that the casino key employee licenses of these individuals be deemed to have lapsed.
Are there any questions regarding any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to find that the 7 casino key employee licenses lapsed pursuant to NJAC 19:41A-6.1F of the regulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
So item number 7 is consideration of the initial application of Shah Shihab Zaman for a casino key employee license, docket number 240020CK. Briefly, Mr. Zaman was issued a temporary casino key employee license on August 17, 2023. It expired on January 28, 2024, after losing employment. The division filed a report with objections to licensure on May 8, 2024, and you remanded the matter to the contested case process at your June 12, 2024 meeting. Mr. Zaman failed to request a hearing and has not responded to repeated attempts to contact him. Before you now is consideration of the denial of his application for a casino key employee license and for disqualification. We have counsel for the division present, and I will check if Mr. Zaman is in the gallery. And I do not note his presence, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. On May 8th, 2024, the division filed a letter report recommending that the application of Shah Shihab Zaman for a casino key employee license be denied for failing to cooperate in the division's investigation into the applicant's qualification for casino key employee licensure as required by Section 89 of the Casino Control Act. Subsequently, the Commission at its June 12, 2024 meeting remanded the matter to the contested case process. As advised by the Commission, Shah Shihab Zaman failed to submit the requisite hearing request form and comply with the contested case process. Therefore, based on the applicant's non-responsiveness and failure to comply with the contested case process, we request that Shah Shahab Zaman's application for a casino key employee license be denied. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to A, find Shah Shahab Zaman disqualified pursuant to NJSA 5:12-80 B and D and NJSA 5:12-86 and NJSA 5:12-89, and B, also deny his initial application for a casino key employee license.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, ayes have it.
Item number 8 is consideration of the initial application of Renee L. Trust for a casino key employee license, docket number 24-0024-SI. In this case, Renee Trust temporary casino key employee license was issued on October 13, 2024, and was extended by the commission on July 11, 2024. The division and the applicant have entered into a stipulation of settlement, which was dated July 11, 2024, and filed with the commission on June 26 of this year. The proposed stipulation is before you for your consideration. We have the division counsel present to address the matter directly on behalf of the division. If approved, Ms. Renee Trust's initial casino key employee license period would continue through October 31, 2029.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with the stipulation of settlement that has been entered with the applicant. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the granting of the applicant's casino key employee license, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the initial application of Renee L. Trust for a casino key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it.
Item number 9 is consideration of the resubmission application of Bonita Edwards for a casino key employee license, docket number 24-0023-SR. Ms. Bonita Edwards' matter involves a resubmission, which her application was filed on March 4, 2021. The division and Ms. Edwards have entered into a stipulation on June 19, 2024, filed with the commission on July 10, 2024. The proposed stipulation is before you for your consideration. The division is here to address the matter directly. If approved, Ms. Edwards' casino key employee license period would continue through June 30, 2026.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the division's report along with a stipulation of settlement that has been entered with Bonita Edwards. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted and recommends the casino key employee licensure of Bonita Edwards, subject to the terms and conditions of the stipulation. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and applicant and grant the resubmission application of Bonita Edwards for a casino key employee license, subject to compliance with the terms and conditions as provided for in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Item number 10 is consideration of the complaint for revocation in State versus Kania Y. Blakely, docket number 20-0012-RC. By way of brief background, Ms. Blakely was issued an initial casino key employee license by the Commission on May 11, 2025, renewed subsequently in May of 2018. Her casino key employee license was suspended by the Commission on May 6, 2020, in response to a complaint filed by the division seeking that suspension as well as revocation due to charges filed which were allegedly disqualifying. The revocation complaint was remanded for hearing, and Ms. Blakely requested that the hearing be deferred until the criminal charges then pending were resolved. During that deferral period, specifically in May of 2023, Ms. Blakely's casino key employee license lapsed. All charges against Ms. Blakely were ultimately dismissed on October 18, 2023, and her license proceeding with the Commission was returned to active status. A conference was conducted on March 13, 2024, in furtherance of that hearing process. On August 6, 2024, a stipulation of settlement between the division and Ms. Blakely was filed with the Commission. That stipulation is before you today. If approved, the division's complaint for revocation of Ms. Blakely's casino key employee license would be officially withdrawn, and she would be permitted to apply for an initial casino key employee license and casino employee registration upon your approval of the stipulation. Ms. Blakely is present via Zoom, and we have division counsel present in person.
Chairman and Commissioners, Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. On April 3rd, 2020, the division filed a complaint seeking the suspension and revocation of Kania Blakely's casino key employee license due to Kania Blakely incurring disqualifying criminal charges. On May 6, 2020, Kania Blakely's casino key employee license was suspended by the Commission, and the division's complaint seeking revocation of Ms. Blakely's casino key employee license was placed in deferral status pending adjudication of the criminal charges. On October 18, 2023, Kania Blakely's disqualifying charges were dismissed. A settlement conference was held with Kania Blakely in which the division and Kania Blakely came to an agreement regarding the division's complaint seeking revocation of Ms. Blakely's casino key employee license. You have a copy of the stipulation of settlement that has been entered with Kania Blakely. The division respectfully requests that the stipulation be approved as submitted. Additionally, the division requests that if Ms. Blakely is present and wishes to speak, that she is sworn in prior to doing so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms.
Is
Blakely.
Ms. Blakely on the line there?
Yes, she
Yeah,
is.
okay.
Ms. Blakely, would you like to speak?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Mrs. Blakely or counsel?
No.
I have a question. Ms. Blakely, have you applied for a position?
One second. If
You got to be sworn in.
Ms. Blakely, the
Yeah.
commissioner has a question for you, so we need to swear you in.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Ms. Blakely, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Kania Blakely.
And can you turn your camera on, please?
Let me see how I do this.
There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner?
My question is, do you have you applied for a position with the casino
No,
at this particular time? Are you working?
I am working, yes, but not in the casino.
Thank you.
Mrs. Blakely, did you have anything else you would like to say?
No.
No. Well, thank you for your appearance. Okay. Are there any other questions for counsel? No. Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the stipulation of settlement between the division and respondent, and A, withdraw the complaint for revocation of Kenia Y. Blakely's prior casino key employee license, and B, permit Kenia Y. Blakely to apply for an initial casino key employee license and casino registration in accordance with the timelines set forth in the stipulation.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you, Ms. Blakely, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Item number 11 is the joint petition of Caesars Entertainment, Inc., Harrah's Atlantic City Operating Company, LLC, Boardwalk Regency, LLC, and Tropicana Atlantic City Corp. for the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Baron Fuller pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and to permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Regional President East pending plenary qualification. This matter was initiated by a petition, PRN 1982402, dated July 24, 2024, seeking as indicated the temporary casino key employee license and temporary qualification of Baron Fuller to serve as the new Regional President East for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. We have counsel for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., as well as the division here. And with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I ask that they enter their appearances and speak to the commission directly.
Beth Sacco, Vice President, Chief Counsel, Regional Operations, Caesars Entertainment.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement.
Chairman Pelosi, Vice Chair Cooper, Commissioner Molyneux. The petitioner before you today, as General Counsel Fauntleroy has indicated, is for the temporary qualification and temporary casino key employee licensure for Baron Fuller. He has been appointed as the Caesars Entertainment Regional President East, and he will have the Atlantic City properties under his oversight. As you can tell, Mr. Fuller is here with me at council table, and if it pleases the commission, after I give some brief remarks, I would like to have him sworn in, and he could just introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his background and how excited he is to be here in Atlantic City. I would also like to note for the record that here also attending this meeting are two of our senior vice presidents and general managers for Caesars Entertainment Properties, Karen Moorman with Caesars Atlantic City and Greg Klein with Harrah's Atlantic City. I have reviewed the division's report, and in connection with introducing Baron as the new regional president for Atlantic City, I would just like to take this opportunity to stress that the success of the 3 Atlantic City properties is and continues to remain of paramount importance to Caesars Entertainment. Caesars Entertainment has selected Mr. Fuller as the regional president for its Atlantic City properties based on the history of Mr. Fuller's success as an operator and leader in multiple jurisdictions, including Iowa, Missouri, Florida, Mississippi, North Carolina, and Virginia. As a new regional president East, Mr. Fuller is looking forward to working closely with our senior vice presidents and general counsels here in Atlantic City on leveraging all of the major enhancements that Caesars Entertainment has made to the properties under the $400 million CapEx plan. And he will work with the Atlantic City team to continue to explore innovative ways to drive business. As the commission is aware, the $240 million makeover at Caesars Atlantic City included 2 newly renovated hotel towers, with the Nobu Suites and Nobu Standard Rooms having opened in March 2024. We have upscale restaurants of Hell's Kitchen and Nobu, with each having received the 2024 Wine Spectator Award of Excellence. In partnership with Spiegelworld, we now have the Hook Theater, which has weekly performances, as well as their restaurant, the Super Frico Italian restaurant. Both the Hook and Super Frico were named Best Dinner and Show in Atlantic City by Philadelphia Magazine's Best of Philly Awards. Caesars is also working very closely with its master tenant, ACX1 Studios, to activate the pier at Caesars. This will drive more business to the Caesars Atlantic City property. The wedding venue at the pier is now reopened. Simpson's Restaurant, which offers Caribbean food and features a sports bar along with a private dining room, also recently opened at the pier. The master tenant is working with third-party tenants to bring in some more reasonably priced restaurants and quick-serve outlets to complement the food offerings that Caesars Atlantic City has. ACX1 Studios is also currently negotiating with promoters to book various entertainment and trade shows at the pier. Their ultimate plan is to develop a state-of-the-art film production studio, which will provide an all-in-one hub for film and audio production. Some of the completed renovations and improvements at Harrah's Atlantic City consist of, again, 2 newly renovated hotel towers. We rebranded one of the Italian restaurants, La Strada, and that also won a 2024 Wine Spectator Award of Excellence. Recently, Harrah's opened Buddy's Boardwalk Empire, the first restaurant by the cake boss Buddy Valastro at the Jersey Shore. And upcoming enhancements to improve the guest experience at Harrah's will include a new and improved parking system, as well as renovations to the third-floor ballrooms. Lastly, Tropicana has completed improvements and enhancements as well. We relocated our Il Verde restaurant, the Italian restaurant, to a new beautiful space with views of the ocean, beach, and boardwalk. Il Verde was named the 2024 winner of Casino Player Magazine's award for Best Place to Celebrate. We also redesigned the Caesars Rewards Experience Center. And on the entertainment front, Tropicana has activated the Tropicana Showroom with additional entertainment events booked through December 2024. And most exciting is we are scheduled for 2 tower room renovations at Tropicana. Commencing in 2025, the West Tower will undergo room renovations, and in 2026, the North Tower. Caesars Entertainment has made substantial investments and will continue to invest in the Atlantic City properties, ensuring that each is maintained in a first-class manner. The Caesars Atlantic City properties are and will remain a focal point for Caesars Entertainment and for the new regional president. We are very excited to welcome Barron to Atlantic City, and we look forward to his senior leadership of these flagship Caesars Entertainment properties in Atlantic City. And unless the commission has any questions for me, I would like at this time if Mr. Fuller could be sworn in and introduce himself.
Thank you.
Please stand and raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Baron Fuller.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, staff. Pleasure being here today in front of you for the first time. Looking forward to a great future together. As Bessie said, we have a lot of incredible things going on at our 3 properties here in New Jersey. I'd just quickly like to take a little bit of time to tell you what my background is. Close to 3 decades in the gaming industry, pretty much for the entire life of me being in the hospitality industry, growing up in a tavern in the state of Wisconsin with my parents, and working in there at a young age of sweeping the floors in the morning and crushing beer cans. So I got introduced to the industry at a very, very young life, and it was in my blood and never got out. So glad to still be in it. Started my gaming career in Iowa in 1994 when Riverboat Gaming took off up and down the Mississippi River. Since that time, I operated in 6 different jurisdictions, what Bessie alluded to earlier. My early years were spent with Isla Capri casinos up and down in the state of Iowa and Missouri. In 2017, Isla Capri was acquired by Eldorado Resorts, and that's when I met the Crano family, and I've been with them ever since that time. Our 2020 acquisition of Caesars Entertainment was monumental, where we melded the values of our founding fathers, Don Crano, Bill Hara, Jack Binion, and Jay Sarno, into the company and the values that we have today. I pride myself in building strong relationships with the regulators in the jurisdictions that I operate in, and building incredible operating teams around the assets that we have. And with that, I'll close by saying I'm excited to get approval today so that I can start working with Karen and Greg and Joe, who's back at the Tropicana right now, building an incredible future for our 3 properties in Atlantic City. And I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you. And thank you for being here. Commissioners, do you have any questions for council or for Mr. Fuller?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, first, I want to say welcome and thank you for being here. Just have a couple questions, actually questions or clarifications, if you would. I know it's not a requirement that you live in New Jersey. And from what I've read, it looks like you'll be spending a week each month here. Is that correct?
Approximately, yes, correct, yes.
Okay. Do you think, and this is just totally hypothetical, and I know you've got all the jurisdictions, do you think at some time in the future you might consider moving to New Jersey?
I wouldn't isolate that. I've made many moves in my career. Currently, I think as we came through COVID, we learned how to operate a lot differently in a lot of different industries. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I think that the time and attention that I do spend on Atlantic City can either be here in person, via Zoom, via phone. I don't sleep a lot. I make a lot of calls in the middle of the night. I hold myself highly accountable to the tasks that are set in front of me, but I won't rule that out.
Okay, and just as you just explained, in recent years, before COVID, with COVID, life has changed. I mean, there's Zoom, you can hop on a plane, there's Zoom and everything. So I didn't mean to hold you to it, but, I know from what I've read, you have a lot of responsibilities in this new position. Again, and I understand the jurisdictions. Again, welcome to New Jersey. I hope everything works. Welcome to Atlantic City. And again, from what I've read, everything about your background and your credentials looks awesome, so.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm pleased with what I've read and look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Molyneux?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I, as my colleague, am greatly concerned about you only coming once a week. Is it once a week or once a month?
In general, 1 week out of the month would be
So
dedicated,
this
yes.
looks like a heavy workload to me that you have, and I know we have laws where you don't have to live here. But we would like for you to be in this area. Well, I'm concerned about Atlantic City casinos and our properties here. And it looks like you have a heavy workload to me. You, and I know how technology is, where people can work here, there, and everywhere. But Atlantic City casinos is of concern of what is getting ready to happen farther down the road. And it's not too far down the road. There's so many changes that are going on now with the casinos everywhere, and we're in the middle of something that may be bigger than what we want it to be. And we want our casinos still to be able to hold the ground. So how are you going to regulate that and getting us where we need to be in a situation where we may get in? And how would you regulate that?
Yeah. As I stated, I pride myself in building incredible teams around me. If you look at my history within the Caesars empire, there are a lot of senior vice presidents within the organization that have worked under me and that I have brought up through the ranks. So it's working with my three senior vice presidents and general managers in this market, dedicating as much time from me personally that needs to be into this market. What intrigues my bosses fascinates the heck out of me. This Atlantic City market is very important to my bosses and Caesars as a whole, as it is to me. So I will dedicate as much time as needed for this market. As your concerns are there, I love looking out to the future. I love protecting myself for the future and building good blankets around me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Fuller, for the record, as being the regional manager, what properties and what states are you responsible for now?
Currently, our Pompano Beach property in Florida, our two managed Cherokee properties in the state of North Carolina, our Virginia property that is a temporary casino right now in Danville, Virginia, and will be open to permanent around December 2nd, and then our three Atlantic City properties right now.
And the three Atlantic City are the largest ones?
They are correct, yes. Outside of Cherokee, the Cherokee Resort itself has just had 3,000 rooms. Two properties up there, large resort property and then a smaller property in Valley River, but we're putting close to $400 million into that property right now to expand it.
Well, I want to commend Caesars. I visited all the properties in the spring and saw the improvements you were making in all the properties, and we commend you on that. There's no question, there's a lot of competition out there, so we have to be cutting edge and, upgrading the properties to be competitive. And I'm happy to report that all the 9 properties are doing that, but I have seen the $400 million that you've spent in your properties. So we welcome you here, and as my 2 commissioners have said, we would love to have you here more, but we'll take 1 week to start off with. And I know you have 3 good vice presidents here in the region. I know them all well, so you have capital or good leadership in these properties. So that's all I have to say. Division?
Actually, one more question.
I'm sorry.
Could I just one other question, if you would? Just as I'm sitting here and listening to your, just listening to your communication and dialogue, your background is amazing, and the properties and the areas where you've been. Before this proposed appointment, had you ever been to Atlantic City?
I had, yes. I mean, incredibly, I have an aunt that lives in Wilmington, Delaware, and I have two first cousins over there.
Okay.
So as a young child, our summer vacations were to come to Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware. My aunt had a summer home in Atlantic City, and we came over, and this was before gaming was even on the boardwalk, so there's a presence there. My aunt is my mother's oldest sister. She's the only living child left on that side of the family. I stay in close touch with her, so this would give me an opportunity to visit her and my cousins more, yes.
That sounds great. And again, not meaning to pry, so to speak, but again, your background, where you've been is phenomenal. And let me say this, whether it's before gaming or after gaming, that you have experienced Atlantic City and you are familiar, so that makes me feel good. Again, thank you for being here. I just wanted to.
No problem.
Did that. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I'd just like to reiterate a few points. On July 31st, 2024, the division filed a letter response not objecting to the issuance of a temporary casino employee license and qualification for Baron Fuller to assume the duties and perform the functions of Regional President East for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. While the division does not object to the temporary casino key employee licensure and qualification of Mr. Fuller on a law enforcement basis, the concerns as outlined in our response regarding the approach taken by Caesars with respect to the changes and the structure of this position remain. In particular, the division is concerned that a limited physical presence by the Regional President East and a restructuring by Caesars that expands the size and composition of the East region for which Mr. Fuller has responsibility may negatively impact the Atlantic City licensees in the absence of such a primary physical presence and focus. Moreover, in our submission, we noted that this position has been historically based in Atlantic City, which enabled that position to provide close monitoring and attention to Atlantic City licensees, and it's now being moved to Florida.
I'm sorry, could you speak a little louder?
Yeah, so,
You pull your microphone up?
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
so as I was saying, this position, as noted in our response, has historically been based in Atlantic City, and now it's being moved to Florida. So the monitoring and close attention paid to the Atlantic City licensees may prove difficult now. In light of these concerns, the division will continue to monitor this matter closely. The division has reviewed the draft resolution and suggested a minor change for consideration, but otherwise has no objection to it. Thank you.
Any other questions for council?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yes.
You said that it used to be, did you say it used to be central here?
Yeah, John Coster was formerly here, and then before that, Tony Rodeo and Steve Callender as well.
May I just to set the record, the regional president position, yes, it was originally Steve Callender because he already lived here. So when ERI purchased Tropicana, they had a structure where there were regional presidents. So that was Steve Callender, then he was here. And then, as you remember, we went through the merger, and we had 39 license conditions, and there was a need, and when Steve resigned, we had John Coster came in. And John was located here, and at that time, it was important, right? It's still important, but in that case, we had this 400 million CapEx, and for our general managers to focus on day-to-day operations, a lot of what John did was ran that CapEx program and make sure that we were in compliance with our conditions. Atlantic City is important to us. They picked Mr. Fuller because of his experience, and they are confident, our senior leadership is confident that he can do this job. He has had 7 properties before. And again, he is a regional leader where he provides strategic planning and guidance and support, but each of the properties have SVPs and general managers, and they're running the day-to-day operations. So this is an oversight position, and I'm not minimizing what he does. He's great, and I'm sure he'll do a great job. But I just wanted, for the record, to understand the structure. This is the structure of Caesars Entertainment in terms of regional presidents, and every property has a senior vice president and general manager. Thank you. And if you have any other questions?
Likewise, if you have questions.
So if the commission has no further questions, I have reviewed the division's report that interposed no objections to Mr. Fuller's qualifications. I would respectfully request that the proposed resolution, which I have reviewed, subject to the last change, yes, that it be entered, and that Mr. Fuller be approved to temporarily exercise the powers and assume the duties of Caesars Entertainment Regional President East, and be issued a temporary casino key employee license. And also as set forth in the petition, as well as the division's response, Mr. Fuller is a corporate employee, and therefore no residency waiver is required in connection with his casino key employee license. Thank you.
Yes, we understand that part thoroughly. That's the part there that is why we will support this issue. But this whole situation, to me, is not where it should be, is what I can see at this point.
Any more questions, or we're, okay. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Baron Fuller according to NJSA 5:12-89E, and permit him to assume the duties, and exercise the powers of Regional President East for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., pending plenary qualification in accordance with the conditions contained in NJSA 5:12-85.1 and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Malina,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Our next matter is number 12, I think we are at. 12, thank you. Is the joint petition of Caesars Entertainment, Inc., Harrah's Atlantic City Operating Company, LLC, Boardwalk Regency, LLC, and Tropicana Atlantic City Corp. For the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Evan Jones pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and to permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Operations for CEI pending plenary qualification. This matter was initiated by petition PRN 208-2402, dated July 26, 2024, seeking, as indicated, the temporary casino key employee licensure and qualification of Evan Jones to serve as Vice President of Operations for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. You have the same counsel before you, and Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I ask that they enter their appearances and address the commission directly.
Beth Sacco, Vice President, Chief Counsel, Regional Operations, Caesars Entertainment.
Morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement.
So again, this matter is a petition for, again, temporary qualifications and temporary casino key employee licensure for Evan Jones, who will serve as the Caesars Entertainment Vice President of Operations. Briefly, the corporate vice president of operations position is under our analytics department, and it's a position which works closely with the regional presidents as well as the senior vice presidents and general manager in executing the business plans and monitoring the performance of casino operations. The VP of operations title is a little misleading. He is not overseeing any of our staff at the property. Again, it's a lot, and he could explain it better than I can, but he's here today. Evan Jones is here today, and if it would please the commission, I'd like to have him sworn in, and he can also tell you a little bit about himself and brief background.
Darrell?
Yes. Please raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Please state your name for the record.
Evan Jones.
Thank you.
Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for having me today. I'm very honored to be here, and I understand that a gaming license is a privilege, and I'm looking forward to your approval today to begin the role of Vice President of Operations for our 3 flagship properties here in Atlantic City. I joined Caesars, then El Dorado Resorts, in September of 2017 as a Vice President of Operations. Since that time, I have been over numerous properties in our South and Midwest, specifically Mississippi, Louisiana, Iowa, Missouri, Virginia, and where I physically sit in Pompano Beach, Florida. Prior to my role in gaming, I was an analyst on Wall Street. I spent about 18 years analyzing stocks and bonds on Wall Street. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to be over our Atlantic City properties. I really look forward to working with Barron, who I've worked with since 2019, Karen, Greg, and Joe, to make recommendations to strategically enhance our performance in Atlantic City and look for opportunities to drive more business to our beautiful properties. The Atlantic City properties will be integral and very important to my responsibilities. As Barron said, what intrigues my bosses fascinates me, and my boss, Barron, is very intrigued in Atlantic City. I am deeply committed to the success of our Atlantic City properties, and like Barron, I generally travel with him all the time, and I will be here probably at least once a month with him on our properties. Thank you.
Any questions for council, or? Yeah,
I do.
go ahead.
Okay, first, thank you for being here. Welcome. Similar questions that I posed to Mr. Fuller, and again, I emphasize, I know it's not a requirement that you live here. I have read that you live in Florida. Again, with your position, it says that you will be here 1 week a month. I suppose my question is this: with your job responsibilities, do you think this will be ample time to devote to this position? And second part is, again, I know you live in Florida, but do you think perhaps in the near future you could consider, or you might be thinking about moving to New Jersey? Adding to that, if the position or the job required it. So there's a lot in there, and so I'll answer at your comfort.
Yes, Commissioner. I do believe that, I definitely have enough bandwidth to take on the Atlantic City properties. I've operated for most of my career with multiple properties. And so, we know that Atlantic City is very vital to the success of our company overall. It's a very big region for us, and it's very important financially and quite honestly operationally. And so, yes, to your second question, I have lived in the tri-state area prior to moving to Florida. I was in Connecticut, I lived in New York, in Connecticut. I love New Jersey. Some of the best golf courses in the world are located in New Jersey. So I definitely would not rule out moving. You know, my wife and my family love the Northeast. We have a lot of friends in the Northeast, so I would not rule out moving to New Jersey in the future.
Okay, that's reasonable. And the next part, again, my curiosity, but before taking this, or before this position, had you been to Atlantic City?
I have. As I mentioned, when I lived in New York City and Connecticut, we made frequent trips down here. Combination of a little bit of gambling, more golf and a little bit of gambling. So yes, I've probably been in Atlantic City a dozen times prior to today. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. And again, I'm just going to go back for a moment, and again, not meaning to pry, are you planning on doing this or I understand, I want to just clarify what I was saying. My question is just, I understand that you live in Florida, wife, family, and everything, but there's no, you know, the Atlantic City properties as a commissioner, and the Atlantic City operation is very, very important to me. I'm not discounting or being disrespectful to the other jurisdictions, but Atlantic City and the gaming industry is very, very important. Very important to me. I'm passionate about it. And I suppose I just want to make sure that it gets as much attention as necessary, as required. And even to Mr. Fuller, again, it's just, we want to make sure and as Ms. Sacco said, we know you're capable, your backgrounds, your experience, but, you know, I suppose just hearing it from you, it just, you know, it's a little reassurance. We want to just make sure Atlantic City's getting, I don't mean to say your full attention. I'm sure you're going to give it a lot of attention, but we just want to make sure there's a lot of focus on Atlantic City.
Absolutely, Commissioner. There'll be, you know, there will be the focus that is needed for Atlantic City professionally and financially, quite honestly. I am very invested in the success of the Atlantic City properties.
Sounds great. Makes me feel comfortable and reassured. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. And for being here today as well.
Thank you.
Commissioner Molina?
Hi, welcome to Atlantic City. So I'm not going to start with the two employees. My question is going to go to Caesars themselves, because Caesars is Caesars. So Caesars has the authority to do what they want to do and hire who they want to do the work in Atlantic City. So what I referred to with the first gentleman, I'm going to bring that all back to Caesars for the future. What we're looking for in Atlantic City and how we want Atlantic City casinos to be, even though the laws are there. So I'd like for you to take all that in consideration. That's where I'm going to go with that today. Welcome to Atlantic City.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Jones, you can see that everybody's passionate. We would like all of our key employees to live in town, but we know, you know, you have regional property, so you have to be all over. So just for the record, none of us are in real estate either, so but again, welcome to Atlantic City, and I'm confident that your expertise will help grow the Caesars brand in the region. So with that being said, is there a motion?
Mr. Martin?
Yes, sorry, Chairman. Again, just want to reiterate a few items. On August 7th, the division filed a response not objecting to the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license and qualification for Evan Jones to assume the duties and perform the functions of Vice President of Operations for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. While the division does not object to the temporary casino employee licensure and qualification of Mr. Jones on a law enforcement basis, the concerns as outlined in our response regarding the approach taken by Caesars with respect to this position remain. Specifically, the division is concerned with this being another position with regional oversight responsibilities, which Caesars has elected to move from Atlantic City as a primary work location. And also, the division is concerned that a limited physical presence by the VP of Operations and a restructuring by Caesars that expands the size and composition of the East region, for which Mr. Jones also has responsibility, may negatively impact the Atlantic City licensees in absence of a primary physical presence and focus. In light of these concerns, the division will continue to monitor this matter closely as well. The division has reviewed the draft resolution and submitted comments to council requesting consideration of suggested alterations before the final resolution is executed. Thank you.
I have a question for you. When you say you're monitoring them, how is that monitoring taking place? And what do you mean by that word?
We have a few of the conditions still in place where the Caesars reports to us quarterly, monthly, operational results, a few other items that staffing. We still have the conditions of order number 20071514 in place.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Evan Jones, according to NJSA 5:12-89E, and permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Operations for Caesars Entertainment, Inc., pending plenary qualification in accordance with the conditions contained in NJSA 5:12-85.1 and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Maldonado,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 13 is the petition of Marina District Development Company, LLC, and MGM Resorts International, requesting permission for John Flynn to assume the duties and exercise the powers of interim senior vice president of global security, pending plenary qualification. This matter was initiated by petition PRN 207-2403, dated July 26, 2024, seeking Mr. Flynn's temporary qualification as indicated to serve as interim senior vice president of global security for MGM. You have counsel for MGM Resorts International as well as for the division present, and I would ask that they enter their appearances and address the commission directly.
Good morning, Chair Pelosi, Vice Chair Cooper, Commissioner Molyneux, Patrick Madamba, Senior Vice President and Legal Counsel for MGM Resorts International and Marina District Development Company, LLC, and also on behalf of Mr. Flynn, a really great guy. In any event, we've had an opportunity to review the draft resolution and its fine and form and substance. We simply ask that he be granted temporary qualification to serve as interim Senior Vice President of Global Security. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Tracy Richardson, Deputy Attorney General for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have the response that the division filed on August 9th of no objection to the temporary qualification of John Flynn. We've also reviewed the draft resolution and have no objections. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and authorize John Flynn on a temporary basis and prior to his plenary qualification to assume the duties and exercise the powers of interim senior vice president of global security for MGM Resorts International, pending plenary qualification, pardon me, subject to the conditions contained in NJAC 13:69C-2.7D and C3.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Maldonado,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you, as always.
Thank you.
Item number 14 is consideration of the resubmission application of Thomas M. Pullman for a Casino Key employee license and qualification as Executive Vice President and General Manager for Golden Nugget Atlantic City, LLC. Briefly, this matter before you today is the consideration of Mr. Pullman's resubmitted Casino Key employee license and qualification as indicated to serve as Executive Vice President, General Manager, Golden Nugget Atlantic City, LLC. Mr. Pullman was initially issued an initial casino employee license and found qualified by the Commission at its February 15, 2012 public meeting. His Casino Key employee license and qualification was again renewed at your June 14, 2023, I think I have, public meeting. 2018. On September 28, 2021, Mr. Pullman filed an application for the current renewal cycle. If renewed, Mr. Pullman's Casino Key employee license would continue through February 2027. And I think my dates might be off. I have a typo in my notes, but we understand the cycle. Right. We have counsel for Mr. Pullman is here, and counsel for the division, and with your permission, I ask that they enter their appearances and address the commission directly.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the Commission, Pacifico Agnolini from Brownstein Hyatt, on behalf of Mr. Thomas Pullman, who is here with me today.
Good morning again, Chairman and Commissioners. Tracy Richardson, Deputy Attorney General for the Division of Gaming Enforcement.
Before you today is the resubmission application for Mr. Thomas Pullman for Casino Key employee license and qualification as Executive Vice President and General Manager for Golden Nugget Atlantic City, LLC. We have reviewed the division's report. We have also reviewed the draft resolution, and we accept both and have no comments to either and would ask that you approve them. Mr. Pullman is here, ready to be sworn if you have any questions for him. Thank you.
The Commission has the division's resubmission report dated July 29th, 2024. In that report, it goes through the background of Mr. Pullman's initial licensure and first resubmission for both his key license and his qualification. Was first licensed in 2012, and then the first resubmission took place in 2017. In both of those reports, the division had pointed out some issues regarding tax returns that Mr. Pullman had at both instances reviewed and amended their tax returns to the division's satisfaction and paid any additional taxes that were due. In the current resubmission period for 2017 through 2022, the division again found some issues with regard to tax returns that required review and further amendment. And based on Mr. Pullman's cooperation in reviewing those matters, amending the returns and paying all the taxes that were due, along with having the retention of a tax professional that assisted him in those efforts, the division is not objecting to the continued Casino Key employee licensure and qualification for Mr. Pullman going forward. We brought these matters again to the Commission's attention to point out that further issues with regard to tax returns in the upcoming resubmission periods or at any time in the future would certainly negatively impact Mr. Pullman's licensure and qualification going forward. Mr. Pullman has represented to the division that he will no longer be self-preparing his tax returns and will continue to retain a tax professional to assist him in these matters, which is certainly expected by the division going forward. Thank you.
Any questions for counsel?
Not exactly a question, but I just want to say everything that I've read and everything I've heard today, I'm confident and comfortable and satisfied with everything that's been presented. Just want it to be on record.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and A, grant the resubmission application of Thomas M. Pullman for a Casino Key employee license pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E and NJSA 94H, and B, find Mr. Pullman to have been previously found qualified and remain qualified to serve as Executive Vice President and General Manager for Golden Nugget Atlantic City, LLC, in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1 and NJSA 5:12-89 and NJAC 13:69C-2.6.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, roll call vote?
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In accordance with Resolution 23-12-0603, the next closed session shall be held on Wednesday, September 11, 2024, at 9:30 a.m. in the Commission offices.
Thank you. This is the public participation portion of the meeting. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak? Sir, please come up and identify yourself.
Just for the record, Mr. Chairman, we do not have any email public comment.
Thank you.
My name is Franklin Johnson, and I'm here concerning an issue regarding corruption in the system of Atlantic City, concerning misrepresentation and false imprisonment. I've been told numerous times that my name would be removed from an exclusionary list that was given or decided back in 2011 or 2009. I've also been told that this was a civil matter before it developed into a criminal matter. I have been accused of contempt. For whatever reason, that charge seems to impeach my freedom and my right to be heard concerning the complaints against me. Unfortunately, I do know American system a lot better than expected. I do know that freedom is the cause and the reality of America. I don't agree with communism or dictatorship. Unfortunately, I seem to be confronted with that type of judgment regarding my issues. My issues were simple. Didn't take much for that to be resolved once I returned back to Atlantic City. I'm not a member of any organized crime or any affiliation of any operation to disrupt or corrupt the business of these casinos. I do say that I am not really a supporter of gambling. I do believe that the freedom that I have gives me the choice to spend my money at these casinos by my discretion, as long as they're within the guidelines of the rules and regulations. Gambling does not bring out the best of minds, according to my understanding. However, we do live in a free and a very creative and scientific government. Unfortunately, we do have ingredients of all kinds, which is good because this government was built off of science. It was never predicted to last this long. But I do know when I did start coming to Atlantic City, I was affiliated with the Federal Bureau of Investigation concerning certain organized crime and corruption that goes along with this idea of gambling and casinos. I do believe that my service connection have been totally disregarded. and it's been disrespected concerning my constitutional rights and my right to think, as long as this doesn't involve harm or threat to others. I do believe that this commission should have the power to make that decision. I might not be in agreement with the politics of the state of New Jersey concerning the changes that's been made. And I do believe that I was under the prior law, not the new statute, and that my record should have been cleared. I have no criminal record for me to be persecuted by something that should have been a civil issue before it turned into a criminal issue. Unfortunately, those ingredients and those decisions are out of my hands. I do trust, and I still have trust for those who do have the authority to make a better decision concerning what's right and what the law is really interpreting concerning my issues. I hope that I have not taken up too much of your time and been wasteful, but I've been here numerous of times questioning about me being on a list that I should not have never been on because I never committed a crime. And I never was accused of committing a crime. I've been framed several times, unfortunately, because of some of the bad judgment that's involved in this business of gambling. However, I still believe that the legal system should have been able to correct that if it wasn't a matter of my race or my nationality. I am pursuing with the U.S. Attorney, hopefully, on the color of law, that I am being discriminated against. If so, they take this case, as I'm hoping they would. I have full intent to prove that this has been an injustice upon me concerning my life and my health. And I do believe that within this commission that you do have the authority to make those decisions concerning the complaints of the casino. Maybe that didn't turn out right with the prior governor, because it looks as though he have changed many things. I don't know whether that's just a matter of the budget or whether that's another issue of color of law. I hope that I was clear enough. I should have written it out, true, but unfortunately, my circumstance right now does not give me the mental comfort of doing these things correctly.
Well, Mr.
Thank you.
Franklin, we have given you the guidelines in regards to getting yourself off the exclusion list, correct? Didn't one of my senior...
This was not a lifetime exclusion, and was only for, I think, was 3 years, the max on that. I should have been automatically taken off that list. This was not a lifetime exclusion. They had no clear facts or evidence saying that I was affiliated with anything that would be disruptive or corrupting the business. So it was just a matter of me complaining about the fairness of the gaming and whether or not they was playing by the rules and the laws that's been decided by the legislator and by the state commission.
Well, we'll walk you through that again, the process on getting off that exclusion list.
The process is that, Mr. Johnson, you have to file a petition. It could be a handwritten petition, it can be a note, it can be whatever the division is prepared to accept with the Division of Gaming Enforcement, requesting a hearing removing you from the exclusion list. You are on the exclusion list. It is not limited in time, but the first procedural step that you must consider is making an application with the division to remove you. We have given you that information. the
So,
contact
Are you
information.
telling me that I was on a lifetime ban from the casino?
You are on the criminal exclusion list.
But I'm saying, even though I'm on the list, was I on a lifetime ban from the casino?
Mr. Johnson, you're going to have to review that with the division.
Well,
You're on the website,
Well, we know that we are on the website because
which is a lifetime exclusion under the criminal exclusion provision.
Well, see, this is where my issue of justice is involved.
But you have the right to pursue a request to be removed.
The statute does not allow you to put me on the exclusionary list for lifetime, because according to the statute, those are separate for those that have been proven or been verified of organized crime and major offenses concerning being banned from the casino. Me disputing a call or questioning a proceeding or asking who should have the authority, that doesn't qualify for you to be on a lifetime exclusion. Now, it was told to me that I would have to write the division, which was also told to me that they was going to take me off of the exclusionary list through my conversation and talking with them. Now, I don't think that you really understand the statute concerning a person being on a lifetime ban from the casino, from any casino. I've been out to Las Vegas.
Mr. Johnson, that is the provision through which you were excluded.
But
You can dispute that. The commission does not have the authority to review that at this point in time. You have to have a proceeding with the division. You can then appeal the division's determination if it is not to your satisfaction. We have the appeal right. You were correct with regard to a number of changes were made to the Casino Control Act in 2011. So while we respect that you may not understand the nuances of those changes, but.
Well, you saying new, I'm under the old. I'm not under the new, I'm
Yes, you
under
are.
the old statute.
Okay.
And I'm saying under the old statute clearly explains who qualifies for that particular proceedings that you're talking about. Under the new statute, I'm not as familiar with it, but I do know my issue of questioning why I should have not been on an exclusionary list would have been under the old statute, not the new statute.
Mr. Johnson, have you filed that complaint with the division?
Yes, I have. They took it down and told me that they would get back to me, but it caused me problems with the court system because now I've been wrongly incarcerated and been forced to give a plea for something that I'm not guilty of. I'm subtracting my plea. Hopefully, they won't forcibly incarcerate me again, but that's another corrupt matter. And I don't see no reason why I should have ever been incarcerated because there's no factual information or crime that would qualify me to be held, detained, and forced to take a forced cop-out. I'm subtracting that because of misrepresentation and what I consider an attorney who is corrupt and biased to my race and nationality and my concern about my argument why I'm not guilty of any crime and disrespecting my military service.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear sir.
Any other public comment?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No. Okay. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting is now adjourned.